talking about these things, except for socialism. I think he drags the Democrats down a bad hole when he starts talking socialism.
Right.
The average person doesn't understand what he's talking about. And they just think it's bad. It's like communism. They think socialism is communism. But there's
a reason for that.
The thing with him is he's a poor fucking loser, dude. And so if he starts going and it's him and Biden head to head and he starts losing, he's going to start sniping all the old stuff from Biden. And we know Biden's got a lot of dirt out there. And then what happens? He beats Biden, then he loses to Trump. Great, wonderful. Or he hurts Biden so much, he wounds him so much in the primaries that he's a wounded duck going in and then he loses to Trump in the thing. So I really hope that Bernie Sanders, if you're listening to me, be a nice person and just step down nice and easy when it's your time, and maybe we'll give you a spot in the cabinet.
Well, so because Bernie's second on your list, I mean, we're talking about two of these together. You're right. Biden has a million skeletons in his closet. Number one, if Biden can cure cancer as he promised that he would do in his term, I would vote for him because I lost 3 parents to cancer. So I'm telling you now, folks, I know, as crazy as that sounds, I'm wearing a MAGA hat. If Joe Biden is going to cure cancer for us, he deserves to win. So let's all understand that. And by the way, he's not going to do that. On a side note,
Joe Biden's son had cancer.
Yes.
So I think it gives him the leeway to say that he wants to cure cancer.
God bless.
I don't think it gives him the leeway to say he's going to cure cancer because, I mean, we've all been donating to like the American Cancer Society for 1 million years and they don't cure anything.
We didn't cure it yet.
I don't think
all
Joe
these doctors
is going to change that.
Yeah, he's probably not.
I do think it is good that we're talking about cancer in national politics. I just lost my uncle to cancer.
Absolutely.
It was a horrible thing.
Yes.
1 in 3 people get cancer now. So why isn't that a main issue? Like, why do we talk about immigration more than cancer?
That's fair. I'll give you that. I'll even give you that. That's an epidemic, and that's a whole other topic. But is it irresponsible to say that on a platform, to use people's hopes, like the same way people use God and religion in a way, that you're gonna make some cure? I mean, it just seems very irresponsible. And like you said, 50 years of this. Guess what? Side note, there's a reason why they're not curing it, because it's a fucking industry. But that aside, for him to use that as kind of a campaignable point, I found it was like, step back, you know what I mean? Like we shit when Obama was like, you can keep your doctor. Yeah, and it was like, whoa, that's pretty cool.
To be out of left field too. It did surprise me, but it doesn't surprise me with Biden because he's a man of light gaffes. But we're also compared to Trump, who said he was going to imprison people, build walls, foreign countries were going to pay for it. So, we're in the age of shameless self-promotion and ridiculous claims, and we're just living in it.
Well, now here's my opinion, what you said about Bernie. Tell me if you remember this. There was a school of thought that if Bernie would have beaten Hillary, that he would have beaten Trump. That Hillary couldn't do it because she was so not liked, but that Bernie could have. So you're of the thought that there's no way that if Bernie jumps Biden in any way, shape, or form, and I don't necessarily believe these numbers. Just so you know, folks, Biden's polling about 32, Bernie's at about 15, so he's doubled him. I think it's closer than that personally, but do you think really that Bernie this go around, there's no way he beats Trump?
Last go around, I think he definitely, absolutely could have beat Trump because he had the momentum. And by breaking that momentum, split some people off of Hillary, and that's what helped Trump win. I don't think this go around he can because they've had 4 years to kind of taint Bernie, and he's had his own scandals, and he's promising.
He's a millionaire now.
And he's tied to AOC, and there's just all these different things. Bernie needs to recognize the fact that he's like I don't want to say like a Martin Luther King because it's not appropriate, but he's not a person that's going to be president. He's a person that's pushing an agenda, pushing the edges of thought.
He's the sentimental favorite.
Exactly. He needs to be in the party. He's like the mascot, dude. He's going to push really democratic things all the time and say them all. And because he's going to go far left on every single issue is exactly why he can't be president of the entire country.
I would agree. I think that Bernie has he has a very utopian ideals, and it sounds great on paper. It's beautiful. Free everything is fucking beautiful. I like some more free shit. And by the way, you can send free shit to us if you really like this show. We will gladly accept it. But that being said, I think it's a little delusional. Kamala Harris, that's the firecracker. That's the wild card, right?
I love Kamala. Love.
Is that who you're gonna? I don't know if you want to say
Kamala.
Is that who you're gonna vote for? Is that who you're voting for?
Okay, I like Kamala and I like Buttigieg. Here's why. I like Buttigieg because he's new and fresh and smart, and that's good. I don't think he's qualified to be president yet. I mean, what is he, the mayor of South Bend, Indiana?
It's about 100,000 population.
Yeah, there's probably more people stuck in traffic outside right now.
I could see De Blasio looking at this guy and being like, "Are we fucking serious here? I'm running New York City, and you're doing South Bend, and he's probably wondering, wait a second, I'm more qualified than you, and Buttigieg's killing him."
Qualified doesn't mean anything in a presidential race.
Apparently not. It is
we're coming off Obama and Trump, 2 unqualified presidents.
That's
now,
a good
and
point.
I love
Yeah.
Obama, and I think he did a great job. I even think Trump did okay on some things, but
It's
the reality
it's
is
not
both
a cult
of them
of
did not
personality.
have, like a wealth of presidential experience.
No, I'm glad that you say that because people, for some reason, forget that Obama was extremely inexperienced and he was just an anointed, winnable candidate, and he has a great personality and he's slick as fuck.
Charisma,
and that's
goes
one of the things I
far
didn't
in
like.
The TV age, charisma
Yeah.
goes a long
Well,
way.
Trump has a ton of charisma. Like him or hate him,
He
the
is.
reason why so many people
Absolutely.
love him,
He
he's got
absolutely
tons of charisma.
Yes,
he knows
he
the
does.
TV. He knows.
He does.
Yeah, he likes bright lights and big city shit. So then, all right. So back to Kamala. Is that who you're voting for?
Well, if I had my choice right now, I'd vote for Kamala. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
She's a prosecutor. There's
Right.
people who need to be prosecuted. All open down the government. There's people that need to be
Okay.
fucking prosecuted.
Is that going to happen when
This
she's
lady
the
is a
president?
prosecutor. She needs to get in there. She needs to restore law and order. And I think that she's a person that could actually do it. She's a no-nonsense type of person. And I really like Kamala. Does she have the chops to win? I don't know. Can she run a campaign? I mean, I don't know. But you talk about, putting in someone who was a prosecutor, who has a lot of experience, who says the right things at the right times. Kamala seems to be pretty good right about now. I got to be honest, I like the campaign that Pete is running. And historically speaking, if you look at like an Obama coming out of nowhere, or a lot of other candidates have come out, or look inversely at like a Hillary who had all this experience and couldn't lose, you have to be honest that in America today, Buttigieg can win.
I agree.
And, I'm going to go another step farther, too. How about this one? So first we have George Bush, so then we swing left and we have Obama. So the pendulum goes left. Then we swing way right and we have Trump. So if the
white
if it's going
lash.
to continue and we have a left lash to coming back to Trump, then you're definitely going to get a gay president. And you're going to have Buttigieg.
He is another. Listen here, folks. Remember this about these candidates. Hillary lost like 3 fucking times. Joe Biden's lost 3 times. John McCain lost 3 times. These people, it's not like sports. They roll right out of that loss and they're running again.
You can come back in politics.
Oh man, it's so weird.
People love a comeback story, actually.
Isn't that kind of weird that like we don't revere it in sports? Like the Buffalo Bills are like the running joke and they did it 4 times, which ask Dan Marino how hard it is to get in that fucking game, right? So they do it 4 times, no one cares, they don't win. But in politics, you're right. People don't even remember that you ran. How about that people don't even know that Donald Trump ran, he threw his name in the hat 2 separate times under the Reform Party before he ever did this, just to float the idea, and he couldn't get any traction. That's why he hijacked the Republican Party, and that's why he made it in. He actually tried to do this before, not so seriously, but he did it. Reform Party is most known for Pat Buchanan and that kind of ideal. I believe you're right about Buttigieg. Even if he doesn't make it here, and like I said, I think he's top 4 with Kamala, top 5. He has a political future. He's not going to go away.
He has a huge
and he could be a senator. Remember, this could be a fallback into a governor.
He has
senator
the
thing.
education, he has the military background, and he's got a pretty clean record. The
They
one
like
thing that
him.
holds him up is that he's gay. America's not ready for a first husband, first gentleman, I don't think.
That's
That
a
would be
little
pretty
tough,
wild.
yeah.
That would be pretty wild. But I'll tell you what, I bet you the state dinners would be like extravagant.
Fabulous.
Yeah, fabulous.
And you know what it is? Also, his husband, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but Buttigieg, like, if you didn't know he was gay, you'd look at him and be like, what up, bro? But his husband, you're definitely not like, what up, bro? You're like, hey, you know what I mean?
Can I give you a little
gotta
insight
tell.
too, though, into the Buttigieg campaign? I saw an interview with them and see that he's smart. So on the wall, huge wall they have in the campaign, it says boot, B-O-O-T, edge, edge. Because he's smart enough to realize the hardest thing he has in front of him is his name. So he's literally put it up in freaking 4-foot letters
Phonetics.
on the wall so that people can pronounce it well. And I'm just saying that kind of smart, simple, low-level politics wins in America.
It does win, and partially because Democrats can't read. All right, next one. Kirsten Gillibrand, this is my Hillary Clinton candidate.
I hate
this.
her.
She's so not liked.
I hate
and she
her.
kind of looks like Hillary, right? She's awful. What is she doing?
Here's the deal. She's from upstate New York, where we are. And
Yes.
The first reason to hate her is because when she ran, she said, I won't run for president. And then the first thing she did when she got in office is
I remember
run
that.
for president.
Yes.
So that was
She
just-
hasn't been in long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what is her claim to fame? What is her talent set? What is the thing that
Nothing.
sets her apart from anything? Nothing. It's just a power grab from a medium-length skirt. I'm just not into it. I don't know, man. She's just so
Medium
fucking
length.
average.
She uses hot sauce. But besides that,
That would be the most interesting thing about
yeah,
her.
and she and Texas Pete at that I think is her favorite. By the way, she keeps it in her purse
She
as
needs
well.
to like go to Burning Man and then come back and run for president. Like she needs something to happen to this woman.
I think the only way I would vote for her is if she shaved her head, but I think she's so vain about her hair.
If she did
would
like
never
a
do that.
Miley.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. But you know what's funny about her is she only got in because Hillary jumped from the Senate, and it was like, all right, throw this one in. And she's another one of these handpicked kind of plopped in candidates that it's a female. It's some people think it's a pretty face. I don't know. She's a 4 or 5. I don't know in what city in Albany, but maybe even a 6 or 7. But she's so unlikable. Yeah, done.
And don't forget that she ran Al Franken out of the Senate. In this day and age, with Trump in office, can you really run Al Franken out of the Senate for touching a butt during a comedy show? And then the lady who was touching another person's butt in another segment on stage. So the whole thing was like kind of a joke. And she was anxious. She worked hard. She went on the news to kick this guy out of the Senate, and we needed
I didn't like that. Yeah, Al Franken he's a real politician. So you kicked out a guy who bleeds your shit. I'll give him that. He bleeds that shit. She's a phony. And it is sad. The double standards is how it's all gone. And as much, because Al Franken hated Trump, and as much as I disagreed with Al Franken's liberal views, whatever, he got railroaded, man. He got fucking He was literally put in with real rapists like Bill Cosby. He was in the Bill Cosby.
Absolutely. And it was at the worst time it happened to him. But it still wasn't right, because you have to ask yourself, if you're at war, right, and the buddy next to you maybe not be the perfect person, he might not pass your purity test, but are you still happy he's at war with you? Like, now when you have Trump in office, there's no time for a purity test on the Democratic side.
No, that's true. Okay, moving on. We've got this Bennett fella, Marion Williamson. Yeah, no shot. Eric Swalwell. Stop there, though. Eric Swalwell. Now, I watch a lot of Tucker Carlson. Shout out to Tucker Carlson. Big fan. In my opinion, smartest guy on TV. Some people say most racist guy on TV.
He's like if Dockers came to life.
Listen, man. This is a guy who's had like 100 pilots. He just does not go away.
In a blazer.
I believe that. Well,
he was delivered.
He was a bow tie boy. He was a bow tie buddy for a long time. But that being said, Swalwell. That was my introduction to Swalwell. Actually, was through Tucker, and he loves going on the media. Swalwell loves the camera. Why is this guy in the race? He's a 0.1% guy. Seems a little nutty to me, but he's the perfect white male candidate.
He's a good candidate. He's just running a horrible campaign. I don't know who's in charge of his campaign, if it's Robbie Mook from the Clinton campaign, and that's why it's going so terrible. I'm not sure. All I know is he should be doing way better. He has everything going for him, but yet
he's very progressive.
It's almost like he's already made a deal with somebody else for something, and that's why he's like dumbing himself down. He's not wasting money. He's not going out. He's not doing the news. He was doing more news before than he is now.
Yeah.
So I would have to say that there's a backdoor deal for him to be like a Vice or something. Watch this. Watch, we just discovered the Biden Vice. Biden Swalwell.
It's two white males.
It's so white.
Yeah. Listen, that's a normal ticket. I'm sorry, folks. If you go and look at all the tickets, that's what they tended to look like.
When you get soup, you get 2 saltine crackers, right?
Listen, these are a couple of real Jim Dandies there. Biden Swalwell, folks. How about that? Go shit your pants. But no, honestly, he has a future. Because he's a California guy, so he's got a base without a doubt. So he's in the right state.
And I think he did some time in the military, right?
He's a military guy, but he is cringy. He did the baby changing thing already, which people cringed on, and then
why are candidates touching babies still? It's 2019. Like, stop.
Yeah, and it wasn't even his baby. It was a rented baby, I think, from Uganda. It was really strange.
Some Russian is going to take that and turn it into a child porn meme and put it out all over the internet.
Ask Alex Jones how that's going. And but the thing about Swalwell too is, which is real cringy. If people haven't seen this, you owe it to yourself. Watch his performance in Iowa like about a weekend ago, and there's like 7 people there, and he's just lost out there. You can literally hear the crickets in the Iowa cornfields while everybody's eating deep fried Twinkies at the fair, not liking this guy. It was really funny.
Iowa's no place for Swalwell.
No, Andrew Yang. This is my favorite candidate of the bunch.
Want that free paycheck?
I would love a free paycheck, but let me tell you really fast what Andrew Yang, because people I'm gonna narrow this down as fast as I can, because I listen to him and I've read a lot about this guy. The free paycheck thing comes down to this: everyone over 18 is gonna get the $1,000. If you get any public assistance of any kind in any way already, that counts against your 1,000. So keep that in mind. So anybody who's already on entitlements, welfare, any shit like that, if you get anything, that's already counting toward your 1,000. So one of his things he's talking about is the entitlements we already give out people, which any Republican will fucking argue and tell you it's a lot, and Democrats should at least admit it is a lot. It's already in the $4 trillion range or something like that. So his plan is only like slightly higher than what we're already doing to a degree. What he wants to do is also he's going to tax Amazon on every transaction that's going to go to this fund. So it's not just coming out of funds that don't exist now or whatever. Obviously, he's going to probably want to squeeze the balloon with defense or whatever if he won, whatever and all that. But at the end of the day, if people really research this, he feels it'll go all into the economy. It'll be great for business. It'll be great for small business. And everyone will have money to spend because why is he talking about this, Pat? Kid Chronic, Mr. Chronic, Kid Chronic. He's talking about it because he believes that AI is going to be a major problem, and the jobs are going to be gone. So we almost need to do this.
Well,
He's thought this out.
I agree with you on this 100%. I agree with Yang on this. I think most smart people, especially people like us that work in tech during the day, would definitely understand what Yang is trying to say here, which is basically the automation is going to take over. As it takes over, we need to supplement people's cash and this and that. But I don't know. Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, I think it's 20 years too soon, maybe 100 years too soon. Okay. Two, I think that you said one thing, Key, that people are going to have to research it, and they're not. So it's not